All right, hello friends. We are back here playing some Everquest Legends today. So I was trying to decide what I wanted to do in this kind of like 3-week long, public open beta that we have. I just finished up the Doom Reaver series. You can check that out on my YouTube channel if you want. Playing a Barbarian Shadow Knight Shaman Berserker, which was really awesome. I really liked the build. I really felt it was powerful. I was able to do a lot with it. Even without farming up any gear, I was able to take down Khazak-Thul. I didn't get a chance to try the Plane of Hate before the last beta wrapped up, but it's probably something I will do again at some point. I'm a barbarian at heart, so that that whole build based around a barbarian was right up my alley, and it was pretty awesome. So anyway, I was trying to decide what to do for this little short one we have, and now we've actually only got like 15 days left from the time I'm recording this. So it's going to be a pretty short series, probably only a few videos in it. But I started looking around at what people were saying was the worst. What's the worst? And I like make air quotes here. I don't know what I'm going to have for the thumbnail for this video, but I imagine I'll put worst in air quotes because I don't think there really is a build that can't do all the things you want to do. There are builds that are going to be better at doing those things. There are builds that can probably do it faster. There are builds, whatever. You can put whatever qualifiers you want on it, but I just was looking for what are people saying is the worst. So I kind of gathered a collection of combos, class combos, that came up as listed as the worst. I also looked at, I think Thomas Van put together this Everquest Legends like class combo builder. Actually, I don't know if he put it together, but he's referenced it in his videos. I think it's actually his creation. And in there, he's got kind of a ranking of all the class combos out of the 560 possible class combos you can be, and what people were saying around the internet, on various videos, on the discords, on Reddit, kind of lined up with what he had for the bottom like 4 or 5 class combinations. So I took those combinations and I put up a poll on my YouTube channel, and I'll probably flash it up here on the screen. Not a ton of, we actually got more votes than I usually get on a poll, but not a ton of votes. I'm a fairly small YouTube channel overall, but I was just curious what people thought. Left it open for comments as well. I think at the time of recording this, I had 26 votes, and it was pretty much overwhelmingly Rogue, Warrior, Wizard as the worst overall build. Now, there were some cool comments, and maybe I'll flash those up on screen here too, but one guy said, Chaos Flux said, I don't see it. The vote I would put is the one you aren't having fun with, and that is actually the truth. Don't play something you're not having fun with. Everquest Legends is not something you need to min-max to the extreme to be the best at what you want to do. Now, if that's your game, if that's what's fun, I mean, have at it, like min-max to the extreme, figure out the exact efficiency, go achieve your goals or whatever. But if you're feeling like you have to pick the perfect setup every time or the first time, I wouldn't even concern yourself with it. Play the one that is fun. So Chaos Flux, absolutely, I agree. That would be the worst build, the one that you hate logging on to play. Don't do it. Another Chaos UDK actually commented and said the worst Legends build is Monk Berserker Rogue, which wasn't on my poll, but that is a pretty bad one. So what we're mainly looking for, what do we mean by worst? I mean, basically what you're looking for are classes that don't have a ton of synergy. They don't have buffs that help each other. They're missing some of the core elements of EverQuest, like heals, crowd control, and stuff like that. And we'll get a little more into that here in a minute. But overwhelmingly, the vote was for Rogue, Warrior, Wizard. 88% of the vote went to that. And actually, that was my thought too. And the reason is that the combo of Rogue, Warrior, and Wizard, you don't have heals, you don't have great crowd control. You have root from the Wizard, but you don't have good, solid CC. There's not a lot of complementary stances and invocations. They help each of the classes. Striker stance is great for Rogue. It's okay for Warrior. Offensive is good for Warrior. It's also good for Rogue, so I guess offensive stance is it kind of crosses over. You don't have like Spellblade where you can proc your Wizard nukes. You don't have Berserker stance where you can help to frenzy and double that attack rate, so you can try to raise up DPS that way. So not a ton of complementary stances and invocations. Very few buffs across the board. We're going to have our poisons for the Rogue, and we're going to have, I think Wizard has a couple of self buffs. I haven't played a Wizard in so damn long. I couldn't even tell you. So we're going to find out. But very few buffs. It's not a buffing class, right? That means we don't have haste. We also don't have slows for other, against the mobs we're fighting. We don't have any way to slow them. So we can't slow them. We can't haste ourselves. We have kind of a crappy snare situation, although that hasn't been as big of a deal on EverQuest Legends. I do think the Wizard can snare also, but kind of a crappy situation. No feign death. A lot of people saying like you don't really need feign death because if you die, you just kind of respawn in the same zone and it's all good. But I disagree. I really like feign death for like if you can take one mob down and then feign death and reset the pool and kind of work your way through it, kind of failing forward type of thing. I think feign death is huge for that. I also don't like having to sit down and remem my spells and rebuff and all that. Now, in this build, we don't really have any buffs, so maybe that's really not a big deal anyway. But I do like to have feign death. I do like to have it as part of my builds when I can. So with that, Rogue, Warrior, Wizard, then I started asking around to some of my friends just saying, hey, what do you think is the worst starting duo? Because you start out as 2 classes until level 10. I thought it might be Warrior, Wizard, but it came around that Rogue, Warrior is pretty slow at the beginning. You can do a lot of damage, but you're really limited. Whereas Wizard, if I combine Wizard with either of these, Wizards actually nuke really well at low levels, and they have we have high mana regen in EverQuest Legend outside of combat, so we could really just be nuking everything down very fast. So I think Rogue and Warrior ended up being the combo that is the worst start for a Rogue, Warrior, Wizard, so I chose that. And then I went to race selection. I was looking and I was going to pick a gnome because really they're the worst race. We can argue about that if you want. In my opinion, gnomes are statues and they belong in my garden. They're not a race that we should play in games. I don't even play gnomes in like Dungeons and Dragons or anything. I think I've said this in other videos. We could argue all day about this. Gnomes are one of the worst races in any game. But then when I went to create the character, I was actually reminded that we have Frogloks. So I ended up picking Froglok. Frogloks are just not my thing. These guys are not my thing. They're goofy, they're funny, just not my thing at all. I'm a barbarian at heart. I love the occasional troll or ogre, but I don't really play, even in general, I don't really play small races, even in D&D and other games. I don't really know why, but especially gnomes and apparently Frogloks, because I just see this as a very goofy, amusing little guy, and not really, the adventure fantasy that I have when I play these types of games. I've also spent so many hours killing Frogloks with Grinch in my Swamp Monster series. And as Grinch would say, Frogloks are not friends, they are food. So I also tried to make one that didn't look like the Frogloks and Guck. So he's not green or anything like that, where he's going to remind me of Frogloks because I have killed a lot of them. So here we are. All that to lead up into This Is Us. I did already do the tutorial instance with all the Dougs. And that got me to level 2, and I picked up the boots from there. So that's as far as I've gone. After that, I logged into my home city, which is in the Wraith Mountains here. It's a new Froglok starting zone. I've never seen it. I have no idea what's going on there. So thing number 1 is going to be figuring that out. And I think we're ready to go. So one rule here, if I didn't already say it, is no matter what, I can't switch off this combo. Like, I'm not going to switch to another combo. I will add Wizard at level 10. I'll lock it in at level 11, and we're not switching, no matter how inconvenient. Another nice thing about the Rogue, starting as a Rogue, is it made me worship Inaruk, which also makes our lives a little harder. So I'm kind of taking what people voted as the worst combo, one of the worst deity situations you can be in to interface with the world, and a race that is difficult for me to really look at and play. Although I'm sure it's gonna grow on me, and he's gonna be absolutely ridiculous. Plus, secretly, it saves me from playing a gnome. But we're gonna do it. Let's get in the game. All right, I did log in long enough to set up my UI a little bit. So this is kind of the layout we're going to go with. I'm just keeping things in tabs. I may split out. I talked about in one of my last videos, like splitting out some of the combat window stuff. I don't even know if we'll need it on this character. So we'll see. I have my spell book over here. I have no spells right now. I didn't put any skills on the bar yet. And this is just kind of the whole layout of the thing here. I turned off my buffs here. So I'm going to have buffs and debuffs for my target, but then my buffs will be up here in the corner. So when we first come in here, we are looking at Gazmaster Shargnol, the Rogue Guildmaster, because our primary class is Rogue. And just to show what I did pick up, if you've watched anybody's videos at this point, you've seen these Boots of the Long Road that come from the tutorial. You can go see them in my Doom Reaver videos. I stayed in there. I did get them up to +2, so I can actually pull out the Click Exalt. And then I like to take these boots and put them right in this slot here, which I have bound to my W key, so when I go forward, it just automatically gives me the buff. Now, these are actually going to be more important to us here in this run than they have been in other runs, because I have no other way to get run speed. I could eventually pick up Journeyman boots, but I don't have Spirit of the Wolf on any of my classes. I don't have Bard Song. I don't have any of those things. So my only run speed right now are these Travelers, these Spirit of the Traveler from my Boots of the Long Road. So that's going to be important for us to get around with. But now what we also have is a letter, a rogue recruit letter. And we're going to turn it in to Shargnal here. If I click it, it says, "Welcome to the fold. Dark Gaz, you are hereby charged with saving the interests of Gukta. You must meet at once with Gaz Master Shargnal." Am I saying that right? Shargnal? So he can instruct you on everything you need to know so you can begin serving as an apprentice of the shadows in the Guktan army. You will no doubt prove among the best and brightest Gukta has to offer. Well, he's got that right. That's true. Let's go ahead and turn this in and start our adventure. All adventures in EverQuest start with a letter. I gave it to him. He gave it back. I have no need for this. Wait, does it not say to turn it into him? Okay, apparently I don't need to turn the letter in. I just need to talk to him. That might be... Usually you turn in the letter and you would get this thing. So maybe that's a little... Maybe that's something they'll come back to later. Or maybe this is the way intended. I'm not sure. So Gazmaster Shargnal says...
Your first test, and you passed with flying colors, young Gaz Sigil. You may dispose of that note if you feel the need. There's no use for it. I see you are well on your way to becoming a great and respected rogue in the army of Gukta. You have only begun your training, however, so do not celebrate just yet at this small accomplishment. Your next task is to find the bank and contact Banker Zlops. He will instruct you on the important things to know about stowing your valuables, such as this brooch I've given you now. Good luck, young Gaz.
All right, Master Shargnal, what do we have here? It says it's a range slot item, but I need to take it to the banker. I have no idea where the bank is. Ooh, there's a frog here. Oh, what a goofy bastard. Okay, that's what we have to look forward to. That goofiness. All right, so as we get going, so we're going to hear that going off all the time. That's my boots when they're up and I can move forward. So I got this, Froglok's have this crazy jump, which cracks me up. I hear that it can jump higher than most people's jumps, like normal jumps, so maybe that's a thing. We'll try to figure that out as we go. I'm going to get myself set up here. So looking at my abilities, I can turn some things on auto here. So I'm going to turn backstab on auto, bash on auto, although we don't have a shield to bash with right now. What else do we have? So gather party and origin I already have down here. Don't really need sense heading with the way the maps work in here. Just scroll through, see if there's anything we want to put out here. I'm not worried about taunt. Although we could put it on the bar just to level it up at some point. There may not be a lot of buttons to push, so I might as well push taunt. Bind wound. We have ultravision because we are Froglok, I suppose. I saw Frogloks could be monks as one of their native classes, and that's wild. Especially with that jump. Like, I wonder what their kicks, like their flying kicks look like. That'd be fun. So kick is already on auto. And okay, that's what we've got. And here we have our stances. So we don't have any invocation. We have unyielding invocation, I guess. So health regen, excluding out of combat bonus, regen is doubled with 25% resistance increase to control from fear, mez, and charm. So we'll go ahead and put that invocation on. It's the only one we have because we are all melee right now. And we're probably going to hang in... we have evasive stance if we need it. We have striker stance for kind of some burn damage. And then we've got offensive stance, which is probably where we'll spend a lot of our time. Now, once I get cleave with the warrior, it should speed things up, but I don't have it yet. I think we get it at 6, but I'm not sure of that. So wandering around here, we've got cleric spells and the cleric guild master. They got like spirit frogs floating above blue flames, which is really cool. And this is all like new stuff that they added to the game. Because we are in, if we go to the map, we're actually in the Wraith Mountains. That is not easy to see on that background. Maybe in the dark. Dark did not make that better. No background? Okay, so this is just a rough map to see in general. But if I scroll in here, you can see the outline. We're in the Wraith Mountains. This goes to the Firot, and then on the other side, it goes to Lake Wrathtier. Wraithtier. I always say I say Wraith Mountains, and then I say Wrathtier Lake. I'm going to screw that up. You can hit me up in the compliment section and tell me how great I am at pronouncing it if you want. Fantasy words, right? Fantasy words, am I right? We're going to go looking for the banker. And, you know, are these guys? They're indifferent. Okay. This must be like Shadow Knights or something in here. Necromancers. Okay. Yeah, necromancers with their undead servants. It actually looks like we have, I mean, there's a decaying skeleton here, so we have a bit of a newbie yard going on right here. Hey, we're already getting gains. We already got a cloth shawl. We'll loot that. So one thing I meant to look at real quick was disciplines, because at level 2 we actually got a second venom. So let's see. I have all the stances in here from my previous UI setup. I'm going to take those out. I'm going to try to use the stance bar if I can. Now, it doesn't say the stance names on them. I wonder if there's a display type that... current stance and invocation text on top. What does that look like? Okay, that's not bad. So that at least tells us what we're currently in, and we'll learn the stance icons so we can remember them as we go. So I'm going to get rid of all these real quick. Okay, I cleared all those out, and I think I put, let's see, we're going to put our rogue buffs on here, so our poisons. So these two are both combat poisons. I don't know if we talked about this earlier, but you can have, so if you read here, it says, coat your weapon in blood siphoning venom, giving you a chance to trigger blood siphon strike. On striking, this is considered a combat poison, and it stacks with all other combat poisons. So as long as they're combat poisons, we can stack them. Except blood draw venom, which replaces this ability, so later you get an upgrade to this. You also have utility poisons, and you can only have one of those active at a time. So that'll be really the thing that we're switching around depending on what we need, and they can do things like have a chance to slow mobs, have a chance to snare them, things like that. We're doing blood siphon venom, which is a life steal, which hopefully will give us a little bit of sustain, and then we're going to do asp venom. I didn't open too many windows there. Which just deals extra damage. So we do have some good damage capability here. And these are permanent buffs, so once you put them on, they stay on until you die. So I get myself asp venom. There we go. And since we see these skeletons, we might as well take them out. Oh, and I did get that drop of the cloth shawl. I still wish you could just drop things in there, but since you have to confirm, because if you use them, they lock to you, you do have to put them in the actual slot. There we go. Big gains. We've got a 1 AC cloth shawl. Okay, so this looks like all newbie area out here, which is kind of cool. What I'm going to do is hit the find, and I'm going to look for the banker. And that's going to give me a trail to the bank. I don't know if I can climb that mountain, but... So he was back over this way. Okay, because we ran past all the cleric stuff. And we're going to pass some more skeletons, so we'll kill those on the way. Bone chips. Any reason? Well, you know what? I am going to auto store the bone chips. Oops. Oh, I did it, yeah. I'm going to auto store the bone chips. And if there's a bone chip quest to turn in here, we'll do it. I don't know that there is. But whatever gets us a little bit of, experience, you know? If not, we might be able to take the bone chips and do one of them at one of the human cities or something like that. So being in the Wraith Mountains, we are pretty far from a lot of things. So the revamped dungeons that are out there, we've spent a lot of time in Befallen, because that was the only revamped dungeon when I went through in the Doom Reaver series. So I probably won't do a ton of recording of hanging out in Befallen. We got blackened fungus. I don't know what that's for. Is this race, class race none? Looks like just something to sell. But we definitely want our moats. We got our first moat, so we're going to auto store these. Okay. Yeah, here's the baker. Let's talk to him real quick. Welcome at last, young Gaz. Gazmaster Shognall has sent word of your arrival, and I have been expecting you. It's crucial that you understand how important the bank can be for you. You can deposit any item and all of your valuables into the bank for safekeeping until you need them at some later time. You can invest and remove any coin you may have gathered as well. I've just given you 5 gold, so why not try it out? Put the gold in your bank and then take it back out again. It's all quite easy to understand. When you are comfortable using the bank, make your way to the rogue skill vendors for the next part of your training. Good luck to you, young Gaz. Alright, let's try to put our 5 gold in the bank here. Okay, I deposited it. Done. And I took it out. Done. Welcome back, young Sigil. You seem to understand the benefits of the treasury of Gukta well enough that you should continue your journey down the path of Gaz by speaking to the skill trainers. Right on. Thank you, Dar Banker's Lop. So I think we probably could have just talked to him twice and not actually put the gold in and out of the bank, but I don't know. Maybe there's a trigger there for it. All right, he said to go to the rogue skill trainers next, which I think was just back where we started. So we came in at, let me get my bearings here on the map. I should have looked where we came in. I really didn't pay attention. I kind of started running around. Okay, we came in over here at Shargnol. Right, and there, he's a GM rogue. He's a skill trainer. But let me go ahead and I'll pull up find again, and I will look for rogue skill trainer. Okay, I don't see a rogue skill trainer. I just see the rogue guild master. So we're going to go back to Master Shargnol, and we're going to see what he's got. So I know that we only have the 15 days left and whatnot, but I'm really not going to be in a huge hurry. Honestly, I think my personal opinion, and I may have already said this at the beginning, my personal opinion is there are no bad combos. I did say it at the beginning, now that I think about it. So I mostly just want to take a combo that I would not normally pick, and I want to show what it can do. So we got some cloth sandals, but they're not nearly as good as our boots that we got in the tutorial. So we will just destroy those and get paid out for them. All right. And I want to make a little run for it. Something fun to do, something amusing to do while we wait for the actual release of the game. I will auto-store these. I don't know if we need zombie skins for any quests. And we got ourselves a rusty mace. Let's look at that. So our dagger is 324, but it has our backstab on it. So no matter what, we need to keep the dagger. We can always drop it in any slot if we need. And the rusty mace is 538. So 0.132 versus 0.125. So the rusty mace goes into main hand. Dagger's going to go in offhand for now. And we'll keep looking for more weapons to upgrade. I'm going to try to kill all the skeletons I can. Anything that has a chance to drop armor or weapons. I don't know if these little fungus sporelings do, but we'll give them a try. Drops a spore mushroom, which is also a quest. I'm just going to be storing a whole bunch of stuff, and then maybe off camera I'll dig through them all and see if there's anything to do with them. Or I might just ignore all of them and level up and just go to dungeons and stuff. So I started to say I'm not going to spend as much time in Befallen because I spent a lot of time there last time. We really did a full tour of it. We looked at all the different named mobs and the drops, and I will probably go to Befallen. I will probably spend some time in there leveling, or at least getting some of the drops, but maybe I'll do that off camera as well. I do want to try to spend time in the other dungeons, which are Blackburrow and Najina, which both got updated. I haven't been back to either one since they did the updates. So I'm really interested to see what's going on in Blackburrow. So we'll probably do a long run up to Blackburrow before too long here. And level up for a while in there. And then maybe make our way across to Najina. Or we'll see what's going on at the time. Mostly just to see the new stuff. Because there's going to be plenty of places we can level that aren't those places. Because we can make our way into the Firot, level up a little bit, over into Inithul and right into Guk if we wanted. And just be a Froglok slaying Froglok. Let's see what he thinks of that. He does not like that. Does he have a /no? Yeah, he disagrees. Okay. Or we could head into the Lost Temple of Khazak-Thul. But I did a lot of those in the last video too. So again, I'm going to try to do something new for these next couple weeks. All right, so to head back here, let's hail him again.
Welcome back, young Gaz. I hope your training is going well. Unfortunately, I've been unable to keep up to date on your progress, but should you need advanced training in any individual skills, I'm here to help you with that. As well, I'm here to guide you through your growth as a rogue in the Gukton army. With the skills that you have learned here, you will be better prepared to serve the army.
Okay, so it's just basically telling me I can skill up here if I want to. Now you do get skills awarded automatically in EverQuest Legends. You can use training points to pump something up if you want, but we're not going to do any of that right now. So it looks like I thought maybe this little initiate's brooch is was something we had to turn in, but it looks like it's just a ranged item that we can keep here. So it doesn't have any. Actually, I thought I just saw that it had stats. Okay, so here it's showing AC 2, hit points 8, agility, dexterity, both 2. If I put it into ranged, it doesn't show any stats. Okay, let's see. Agility and dex, 120, 115. 120, 115. Really interesting. That doesn't actually show. Lore equipped, no trade, placeable. I'm not seeing any increase by equipping it. Maybe that's a little bit broken. We'll find out. I'm going to destroy these skulls. These were from the tutorial. We'll just get rid of them. But okay, we're off to a start.
Good journey to you, Sigil.
All right, we are off to a start. So I'm going to make my way into that newbie yard, and we're gonna get grinding. We're gonna get working on this. All right, I take a short break there, but we are back. We're gonna hit this newbie yard. Kind of ran over. It looks like if you look at the kind of starting area here, if I zoom in, we're in kind of like an entryway here that keeps us. It's real hard to see this map. I know it's not super dark. I wonder if okay, if I turn off the Z filter, it helps a little bit. This must be up a hill or down a hill. Okay, that actually helps a lot. Okay, so you can see this is the Wraith Mountains. Firot over here, Lake Rathtir over here. Like I said, Rathtir, Rathtir. Again, fight me. We're looking at the newbie area being kind of right over here. So you got a lot of the people, all the Froglok civilians. This area here appears to be kind of a newbie yard, and maybe over on this side too. And then this exits out into the rest of the Wraith Mountains. Now, what's difficult is if we want to run, I want to go to Blackborough because I want to experience that and hang out there. I think there's kind of two ways to go. I could go out of the Firot into Inithul Swamp, up through all the deserts of Ro and the Oasis of Mar to Freeport and teleport over to Kenos. On the other hand, I swim across Lake Rathtir, hit South Karana, run the long way across South Karana, into North Karana, to West Karana, run the long way across West Karana, into Kenos Hills, and into Blackborough. I'm probably going to make the Karana run, and it'll probably be super dangerous, but we will do that. I will probably do that off camera, and maybe I'll time it and let everybody know. I mean, that's not happening yet. Right now, we're going to actually just get to getting on into the business of killing some things and getting some levels. I will take a peek though at what I'll look on the EQL wiki. So a lot of people have been populating the EverQuest Legends wiki with things that are happening in EverQuest Legends or quests and such. And I will take a look and see what's listed for quests here in the Froglok starting zone. I have no clue. I see a lot of things marked as quest items, so I'm just auto storing any of those for now. Well, maybe I'll take there we go, another moat, very nice. Maybe I'll take a quick. Well, let me get myself to like level 4 or 3 or something, and then before I dispose of anything, before I leave this area, I'll definitely look and see what quests are available. If I can't find a ton of information, I will probably just make my way around town talking to everybody. See, another quest item, snake egg. I don't know. if that's for here or that's for somewhere else. So, but I'll probably just make my way around town and just talk to all the Froglocks and see if there's something, if I come across quests or they give me something to look for. So for now, just anything that's a quest item, I'll just collect it. Oh, I turned off my auto attack. So I'm auto firing my extra skills right now, and if I look at the combat log, I could definitely see them going off. And then I added taunt here, so I'm just gonna hit taunt every once in a while to level it up. Oh, okay, so I went AFK and I had to feed my dog, took care of some things. I came back and I was like, it says here my Spirit of the Traveler is blocked by Spirit of Wolf. Somebody came by and buffed me up, so I've got Spirit of Wolf, Skin like Steel, and Strength of Earth. Hey, that's amazing. I was AFK, whoever that was. If you said hi, I'm just scrolling back on the general chat. Yeah, I don't see... Okay, there's where I destroyed those skulls. So I didn't see anybody directly speak to me. So appreciate the buffs, whoever you were. They are appreciated and helpful. So I can see I'm backstabbing, hitting them with my mace, and all that stuff. So good stuff. So here we got a ball of pulpy fungus. Doesn't look like it's good for anything, so we can auto sell that. And another fungus. Lots of fungus. Well, I guess I just killed a fungus man. That makes sense. Let's fight this yellow, see what he's got. He's just a level 3. He's only one level up on us, so. Chunk of meat is a quest item? Okay. Oh, right. So one of the things I wanted to actually do on this, and luckily I'm not too far. I made level 2 in the tutorial, and we're only a little ways into level 2 because I've been talking so damn much. I actually want to do this whole challenge on +2. So I was going to take the worst build, the hardest setup that it's not, again, it's all in good fun here because I don't think anything's the worst build or anything's bad or that hard. I'm going to take the worst setup and I was going to put it in and do only +2 or better. So, or not +2, but difficulty 2 or better. So I'll fight this guy. I'm going to flip it to difficulty 2. Now my fear is that it puts me somewhere crazy in the Wraith Mountains here. And if that's the case, then what I'll do is come back and finish out the newbie zone, not at +2. But let's do it. Let's go, we're going to jump to +2. And we're going to check it out. Let's see where it puts us in the zone. Hopefully we're not too far out from that newbie yard. Oh, nice. It keeps us down here. So if I look, we're like right outside of the Froglok area, which would be good for people that might be KOS to the Froglocks, but we can just run right back into the newbie zone here. Kept our buffs, so we still got the buffs from before. And we're right back in business, but we are also in a +2 now, so everything can be a little bit harder. So that's the challenge. I mean, the challenge is worst setup, air quotes again, worst setup with +2 or D2, difficulty 2, and also no ability to switch off. Now, luckily I have Rogue, so if I needed to actually sneak somewhere, I guess I actually have a class that would help me sneak and buy things. But another big factor for us is that we are worshiping Inaruk, which can be an issue with a lot of people. They're not really fans of the Prince of Hate, so we'll keep that in mind. Now, it shouldn't change too much in the newbie yard, really, overall, but as the game goes on, being only in D2, I always want to say +2. Difficulty 2. Like I said, I think in one of my other videos, like long time City of Heroes player, I always want to say +2. But that's just the way it is. Difficulty 2, D2. Ooh, what do we get? A rusty battle axe +2. So we will get better drops because we're going to get +2 drops now. So let's look at this. We've got the rusty battle axe +2 is a 1.167, which is better than our mace. Then we know our mace is better than our dagger. And then I can stick the dagger in the any slot, so I still get the backstab damage from the dagger. Without something that can give backstab damage, you can't actually do the backstab skill. So now we'll have an axe and a mace. Got a couple weapons going on here. And like I said, I think we'll kind of try to get up to, I don't know how far this area can carry us, and then I don't know what the area just outside of this looks. Definitely we'll try to get up to level 4, probably in this little newbie yard here. And then I'll go looking around outside. I think we want to be about level 8 before we make the run all the way to Blackborough. Seems like that would be a good level to get in there and start working on things. Yeah, that's the other thing that kind of sucks, is I don't have any ranged pull capabilities with the warrior and the rogue. All right, what do we got here? We've got a rusty bastard sword. Very nice. Ooh, that's also 1.67. And a cracked staff. 0.188. That's an excellent weapon. Let's, as always, the cracked staff coming in clutch. Okay, so the cracked staff is by far the best weapon we have on us. So we'll put that in our main hand. And then the bastard sword and the axe are the same at 0.167. So since the axe is already bound to us, we'll keep that. But what we'll do is we'll tuck these other weapons away over here, and if we get more that can stack up with them, maybe they end up swapping in. So now we're using a cracked staff. Very rogue looking with our staff and axe. Not really, but not so bad. Not so bad. Just waiting for something to happen. Oh, another moat. Nice. All right, so I'm going to go at this for a level or 2. While I'm doing that, I'm also going to be in the other screen here kind of looking up on the Everquest Legends wiki, which I highly suggest checking out. There's a lot of good info. In fact, if you're using something like ChatGPT or any other tool like that, your feelings on that, I'm not here one to tell people to go either way or use the tools you want to use. But if you are using like ChatGPT or something, you're going to want to tell it for EverQuest information. If you're looking for EverQuest Legends, all right, level 3. No, not level 3. All right, we got an ability point. Let's try that again. If you're looking up stuff on any kind of LLM, you're going to want to tell it, use the EverQuest Legends wiki. It's going to be your best chance of getting information that's actually accurate for EverQuest Legends. There's so many versions of EverQuest out there, so many emulators, so many years of just knowledge piled up that doesn't all exactly apply to EverQuest Legends. It might, and if you see something that you're like, I wonder if this is in game, I mean, go check. It very well might be there. Ooh, look at that. That's got a higher backstab damage. We'll take that guy. So it's not, it's just a better, man, giant snake fang is the shit. Look at that. 0.222. Okay, that's going in the main hand. Now we are looking a little more roguelike. We'll pop the staff in the offhand, and the axe goes into the bag. 0.222, 0.188. We're moving up in the world. Good stuff. Yeah, there is a lot of stuff in game. There's some quests that dead end because they're like partially in game, but they're not fully implemented because it'd be like from Luklin or something like that. So just take that with a grain of salt. But if you think something might be in game, go give it a look. You can give it a try. First stop should be the EverQuest Legends wiki. There's a lot of work going into building that up. And I'm selling it pretty hard. I have no vested interest in the EverQuest Legends wiki. I just like good sources of information for the community, and those guys are doing an awesome job. All right. So we'll do that. I'll be running around here just killing everything I could find. We'll check back in as time goes on. We did get that alternate advancement point, but we're just going to hold on to it for the moment. I'm going to let a few of them build up before I do anything with them. And I'm going to keep going. All right, I paused for a second. I went and looked over at the EverQuest Legends wiki after selling it so hard and saying great things about it. It actually is pretty lacking in information about this Froglok starting area. In fact, the map and the information about The Wraith Mountains looks like it's still a lot of the P99 info. So what they initially did was copy over the P99 database and then kind of work on it from there. I didn't dig too hard yet. I'll dig a little harder for some information on the Froglok starting area, but it didn't look like there was good information over there yet. So some work to be done there. But I did start running around kind of talking to people while I was fighting, and all of these people here, all of these Frogloks, tell me the same thing. And that is that I should seek out the armorers. They would like to speak with me on an important matter. So we will go find ourselves the armorers and see if we can get some kind of quest from them. I'm wondering if all these guys kind of say the same thing. Seek out the armorers. Yeah. Okay. Where are the armorers? And if we don't see them, we can always... I see blacksmithing. Oh, armor merchants. Do you think it's the armor merchants or the blacksmithing merchants? There's someone just called armorer. All right, well, we'll check both. Headed for the blacksmith merchants to see if they have something or some kind of quest. Since we are a warrior, we can wear plate, which would be really nice, but I think it's way early for... Okay, that's tailoring. Way early for plate. We got jewel crafters. We've got fletching. Did I go past the... Oh, it looks like those guys are wearing armor. That would make sense. Oh, is the map like a little... Oh, the map's just a little bit off the way I was looking at it. Okay. These guys have something. Welcome to my store. Nothing from them. Headed for the armor merchants. Let's see if they have anything. There's several different armor merchants. And there's just this guy here. Dark Collector. Let's see. Dark Collector Ryoker tilts his head to the side a bit and looks at you for a moment.
You look like the handy sort, just the type of person I could use. I collect and study the mutations of the various pests in the area, collecting data on the effects of the environments they live in over a lengthy period of time. This research helps me track patterns and come up with more effective salves. I think I talked about this in another video. Sorry, total out of character side note here. I don't know how to say that word. Salves and others for our armies. Currently, I'm studying the recent infestation of skeletons. If you could bring me any fragments of bone you may find, I'd appreciate it.
Okay, so this guy, Dark Collector Ryoker, is our bone fragments. Or he's the guy we turn in our bone fragments. So I've been putting those in auto storage. So once we get enough in there, we'll come our bone chips. I say fragments, but bone chips. We'll turn on our bone chips here to Dark Collector Ryoker. I'm actually going to have to make a side note, since that's not written down anywhere, that Dark Collector Ryoker bone chips. And he's by the Great Skilled guys. All right, that's an interesting one. We're just going to hit all these guys up. Yeah, he's just a shop guy. Shop guy. So Zak Sevrana. Maybe female. How do you tell female from male? I don't even know if you can. I mean, obviously the pink ones are female because if you try to create a female character, the only pink ones you can make are that. But I think the green works for both. I have no idea. I'm not going to attempt to do a female voice anyway, so... Let's see. Zak Sevrana stares at you intently, tilting its head slightly.
If I had to guess, I'd say you're one of the new Gaz recruits. But...
The Froglok rustles through some papers for a moment before speaking again.
I don't see you on this list I just got from the scribes. You may wish to speak with the scribes and make sure that you've not gotten lost in the shuffle.
Okay, speak to the scribes. Noted. I don't know where those guys are. I'm doing some old school stuff here with a pad of paper. Speak to scribes. To track these quests. I could have something up on the other screen or something, but I've just started writing it down on paper here. Next, I'll be drawing maps and mapping out dungeons and stuff. Okay. Did he say the same thing? Zok Tabru, he also told me to go talk to the scribes. Also told me to talk to the scribes. Okay, so that's probably what the armorers... So they're just basically sending me around the town to learn everybody, I think is what the whole point is. Talk to the scribes. Sorry guys, if you don't have an original line, I'm not giving you a voice. I only have so many to give. Ooh, we've got something here. Dar Forager Lumen says,
Hey, nice to meet you, Sigil. Please have a look at my wares. I have taken great pains to bring only the best that the swamps have to offer. Or perhaps you're here to make an exchange. I'm always in need of more skins, so I will swap 3 identical unruined pelts for one of my higher quality versions.
unruined pelts. So non-ruined pelts, and I can upgrade them to a higher quality. That's what that looks like. Dar Forager Lumen. You know what I need to do is after I write all this down, I need to go over and update the EQL wiki, right? Like, I'm gathering information. I haven't really contributed to it at all, and I talk a big game about it, so maybe I will be the change that I want in the world. Unruined pelts. Got it. All right, I think we talked to everybody over here, but let's go find the scribes. I think this is just what I'm doing at this point. I was going to go level to 4 and then mess around with this, but I kind of got caught up in it, so here I am. Oh, that's just a guard. Well, not just a guard. Look at him. He's cool. Actually, the plate armor minus the helm doesn't look bad on the Froglocks. I think they did a really good job. I think the helms just kind of look dumb. They have big old heads. It's hard to put a helm on them. Oh, this guy's like, don't even... Sorry to be rude, but I do not wish to be disturbed from my thoughts by one such as you. Good day. Well, good day to you, sir. Also, you're tiny. Get out of here, you little weirdo. Master Scribe. Oh, scribes. Here we go. So Master Scribe Uklo, Uklo or Ukio? Uklo says,
Well met, Sigil. Welcome to Gukta, the outpost of Mar, our new home and base of operations for our fight to remove the trolls from the rest of our beautiful swamp. The liberation of Gukta was quite a battle. Many brave warriors, a good dose of powerful magic, and the blessings of Nathaniel Mar allowed us to cleanse this place of the vile trolls.
Powerful magic, you say?
Our battle wizards called many comets of ice from the sky, along with bolts of pure magical force, brutal walls of flame, and even illusions to confuse and disorient the stupid trolls.
Illusions, you say?
A select few of Nathaniel's chosen know the secrets of spinning illusions. This skill allowed our bravest warriors to infiltrate the trolls' defenses and ensure victory. These are some of our most closely guarded secrets. We only teach them to a select few so they can better aid us in our battle.
What can you teach?
You must first prove yourself a friend of Gukta before I will teach you our secrets.
Well, I can prove myself. Oh, man. Okay, a lot of words. Let's see.
Very well, I will put your loyalty to the test. Long ago, a great hero of our people lost his life fighting the trolls. He was in Wraith Mountains investigating a rumor that the trolls were stockpiling special weapons in an effort to turn the tide of war back in their favor. He was ambushed by a group of troll marauders and their captain, Froglok. He fought valiantly, slaying the marauders and eventually locking swords with the captain. But in the end, exhaustion got the better of him, and he died by the troll's hand. The Froglok respected the Froglok's ferocity and swore that they would one day finish their fight. So through a dark ritual, the troll captain locked the Froglok's spirit in his own sword and broke it into 3 pieces. One piece he placed on the battlefield where they fought. The other piece he gave to an infamous troll warrior to guard. The location of the third piece has been lost over time, but there are clues as to where it may be.
Where's this battlefield?
The Mountains of Wrath hold many stories. One of them is the story of Froglok warrior Chalix, for this is the place where he was killed. Find the place where his bones are kept and say aloud, I wish to recover what is lost, and if you are worthy, you shall receive a gift.
The other piece he gave to an infamous troll, you say?
Gribnor was one of the strongest trolls alive. He is also one of the shortest. His strength is the reason that the troll captain entrusted him with a piece of the sword, because he knew that it would be almost impossible for anyone to take it away from him. We last heard Gribnor had taken up residence in Neriak, Third Gate. I warn you to be careful, as allies of Gukta are not welcome in the home of Inaruk's children.
Well, you might be in luck, buddy. I'm actually worshipping Inaruk, and maybe I can sneak my way in there. Let's see. There are clues. What's the clues?
The troll captain spent some time in the lower part of Guk.
Of course he did.
Apparently, he was trying to control the undead frogs there and use them against us. His plans did not see fruition, and while trying to escape, he dropped the sword blade. It is rumored that another explorer found it, and the power drove him insane, doomed to wander the halls of Lower Guk, seeking only to destroy others. I believe you will find this to be the
I can't talk.
I believe you will find this to be the toughest piece to retrieve.
Okay, let me write all this down. We have a Froglok quest. Excellent. All right, I just expanded the chat window and took a screenshot of it instead. That's a lot to write down, but maybe something, like I said, I can feed back to the EverQuest Legends wiki. Okay, I think that's enough dinking around here for the moment. I'll get through and talk to the other people, but I was just, once I kind of saw some of those messages, I was like really curious what kind of quests we can pull out of here. So what I'll probably do off camera, now that we see there are some things, what I'll do off camera is just go ahead and I'll hit everybody. I'll go hail everybody in the whole encampment. Sorry about the camera view here. I'm jumping all around on this hill. So what I'll do is hit everybody in the encampment, make sure I've checked all of them. I'll take some notes and I will make sure to get that sent over to the EverQuest Legends wiki and maybe help the cause uploading or updating the Froglok areas. I'm not sure how. I mean, one thing I can do is help with the names of the NPCs that are out here. I think that's one of the first things we're going to need, because then you need to show the NPCs to show that there are quests attached to them. Also, assuming I actually leave in the voices that I've been doing for the NPCs in this, I don't know if I will once I hear them or not. Assuming I do, just be prepared. I will tend to drift on them. They probably won't sound the same next time I go back, unless I just listen to a recording or something of them. I'm just picking voices at random. And I'm staying with the ones that are pretty close to my normal voice. I don't know if anybody's a fan of Dungeon Crawler Carl, the book series, but I've been listening to them again. I still haven't read the latest one or listened to the latest one, but I really like the audiobooks. And I'm going back through all of them. I'm in book 2 right now. So one of the characters in there in book 2, I think it's in book 2, book 3 maybe, is becomes a frog guy. And he does like these little frog noises in between when he talks. So I was trying to throw that in a couple of my my speaking there, a little bit of that in there. I'm no Jeff Hayes though, the guy who does the voiceover for those books. Let's see, we got ourselves a quest. We'll auto store. We've got a spiderling meat, which also says quest. I'm guessing a lot of these aren't necessarily quests that we're going to do, but quest and placeable. There's just so many quests in the world that so many things are quest items. Do we not have a rusty... We have a rusty battle axe, which is a one-hand slash, and then a rusty axe, which is also a one-hand slash. Okay. We will loot that. We're just kind going to have this little pile of weapons here that we'll see if they get upgraded at all. These mosquitoes are... Oh, a kobold. Oh, hell yeah. Another piece of armor. Very nice. Kobold talon we can auto-sell. Looks like there's a few kobolds out here. Yeah, there's a few kobolds out here. That's pretty cool. Obviously, we're going to keep up on the skeletons because they have a chance to drop weapons, armor. Oh my god, I can't hit anything. Hitting while moving is always fun. It's always nice to have some kind of ranged attack to hit things with. To just get combat started. So I may need to pick up some thrown weapons at some point so I can just throw stuff at creatures. Although I guess I could kick off fights with taunt. At least get them mad at me so they start fighting me. So we're about to ding over into 3. I don't think we get much. Gain the ability to use the skill hide. Very cool. And we will go ahead and throw that on the bar, I think. Why not? Hide. Got a lot of extra spots here, so. Oh yeah, hide skill 2. Killing it. Alright, we're going to stay on these skeletons, and I see a kobold right here. So things that can drop gear. It'd be cool if we had stuff we could chase to drop pelts also. Although I guess we have spiders. We could get some spider silk. Let's see. Rusty dagger is not going to be better than our stabbers or the other weapons. And a rusty rapier. We'll grab the rapier. We'll auto sell the daggers. We're not going to need the daggers. We're already past them with the giant snake fang as far as backstab damage. And we did get those wristbands previously, so we'll take those. Looks like we just got some woven sleeves. Woven sleeves are nice. We'll put those on arms. So we've got the cloth shawl, which is just AC2. Cloth wristbands, another AC4. Wristbands plus 3. Woven sleeves plus 2 or AC5. So we're making some gains here. Being in plus 2 is helpful because you're getting higher level drops all the time. It's pretty awesome. I'm curious, like, is there a lower level area? Like, I always thought of Wraith Mountains as a little bit higher, not super high level, but a little bit higher level. Is there like a complementary lower level area right outside of here, or do you have to like kind of run over into the Firot and like fight the skeletons there? Or, I'm curious. Curious what our path here is. Yeah, I'm going to chase this. I'm going to work on getting a few more item drops, whatever we can get here. I'll also make my way around the whole settlement, not civil, the whole civilization. The whole settlement of Frogloks out here. I'll look for any new quests and take note of them. And I'll check back in with you in a couple of levels, and we'll talk about what's changed since then and figure out what the next plan is. All right, so I did a bunch of grinding out there in the newbie area, mostly trying to stick to things that were humanoid that might drop armor or weapons, stuff like that. So it was the skeletons, it was the fungus guys, it was the kobolds, stuff like that. I had to clear some other things too, just to make get the spawns to come back up. And overall, we did pretty good. So if you look, we ended up with a lot of different weapons, and I was just like merging them all as I could, and then just seeing which ones were the best. We ended up still with the giant snake fang. It's still got the best ratio plus the backstab damage. And we ended up with back with the rusty battle axe once it got up to plus 4. Kind of became the best thing. So I've been hanging on to all these. I'll sell them all off at some point. I haven't used all of them, so some of them will still sell for money. But also, as you can see, we picked up a ton of armor pieces as we went through here. So I've got, you know, chest, shoulders, bracers. So only a few slots left here to fill in. We need a helm, we need gloves. We actually have a ring, but it's nothing. It's just a copper ring I just threw in here just because I had it. But most of the slots we filled with something. In fact, we even got the silver stud, which is AC3 in an earring from I think it was from one of the kobolds, which is awesome. In the NE slot, I threw in, we had an extra chest piece. I just threw it in there for the AC, and then we've got a shield, which also threw in there for the AC. So I'm using the NE slots right now just to add some armor class. We're actually doing pretty well. What's neat is a lot of these add actual graphics on the character. It adds white graphics, which going with my coloring here, the black and the white, is actually kind of neat. So we had the boots from the tutorial, and you can see those add like kind of leather boots, but the pants are actually like white, kind of cloth looking pants with a belt. That's kind of cool. These are from the arms here, so this is adds a little tie across the arms, kind of matches in with his coloring there. Bracers, same deal. Kind of cool bracer. That's pretty neat. Unfortunately, this chest piece doesn't add anything, and this one doesn't either, so we don't have any graphic for chest yet. And no goofy helm graphic yet. So I did collect up a lot of things. I'm up to 65 bone chips, which I can turn in. Probably better to turn those in earlier. You probably get more experience, or it'd be more impactful at your lower levels. And I got a ton of them fighting those skeletons, so I just auto-looted them, had them stack here, and I got up to 65 of them. I've got some other stuff in the bank as well that we'll take a look at here. I also made my way around and talked to like pretty much everybody in this whole settlement looking for quests. And before I even get to that, I want to show this. Like, there's some of these guys that are small, like small frogs. Like if you look at me versus this guy, like he's tiny. But if you can see the behemoth that's behind me, this is the monk guildmaster. This guy's an absolute unit of a frog. Holy moly. He's just crazy. I see why he wins all the hand-to-hand battles. You don't even have to be good. You just knock everybody down because you're so damn big. All right, so let's look at some of the quest stuff. So I was talking about the bone chips. We can find that guy. It's the collector guy. Let's see if I can find him again. It's not these guys. I know that it's kind of near this monk guy because that's how I remembered last time where it was. So I just gotta figure out which tent it was. Yeah, here we go. The Dark Collector Ryokar. So I'm just gonna... when you talk to him, he doesn't say how many he needs. But I must be scrolled way up in chat. If I scroll all the way down, he just says, if you can bring me any fragments of bone you may find, I'd appreciate it. So if I just grab one, will he take just one? Okay, so he takes just even one is fine. And that's going to give us some Gukta rep. Okay, so pretty much all the reps here with the Froglok. So actually a good way to get your Froglok rep up if you're out there looking to do that. Likely that's part of the whole unlock thing. If we look at achievements, you can usually see how to unlock all of the different classes. So it's in achievements. And race under untapped potential under races, you can go and click in any of these and see what is required for the unlock. And it'll usually tell you there's going to be some kind of rep to get up and blah blah blah, and then you get the unlock. So if I go to Froglok, I already have them unlocked because I'm playing one right now, but you can see it's Protectors of Gukta, Guktan Elders, and Guktan Suppliers. Looks like most of those are here besides the suppliers, which you probably need to do a different quest for the suppliers. So that's pretty cool. All right, the nice thing about Everquest Legends is normally you'd have to kind of turn in one at a time or maybe four at a time. You might, depending on what version of Everquest you're playing on, what emulator you're playing on, anything like that, you may have to separate them into individual stacks. You might be able to do 4 stacks of 4. I'm just going to grab a stack of 64. I'm going to turn it into this guy. There's going to be a quick lag while it calculates 64 turn-ins, and I should get all of them. So you can see it's going through them. I get the music a couple of times. Not so much lag. You can kind of... It does stutter the game a little bit. You can see how choppy it is if I try to move my camera as it's calculating through all this, but it's giving me 0.03% each time, which in the end isn't very much because I'm already level 6. So if you turn these in earlier, you're going to get way better return on investment there for the bone chips. I just got crazy with killing stuff out there. I was doing it off camera, so I didn't even get it recorded, and it was a lot of fun. So this guy kills surprisingly well at this level with Rogue Backstab. Does a great job. At level 5, I also picked up Cleave, which we can look at real quick. So the nice thing about Backstab, I will mention this real quick, is since we have the chaotic stab backstab AA automatically as rogues. You can attack enemies while they face you, which is really cool. So you do backstab damage from the front as well. Now, if we look at that AA, I think it's actually reduced damage, but it's still improved damage, but it's also reduced from the front. So it allows you to backstab attacks, deal minimal backstab damage if you're not behind your target. So even from the front, we do backstab damage, but we can still do better. What I gather from that is we can still do better from the back. Okay, at level 5, we also picked up Cleave. So if I scroll down here, you can see Cleave here. So cleaves your current target with your primary and optionally secondary weapons, and then attacks up to 3 additional enemies in front of you. So we have a little bit of AoE going on. I've been pretty much pulling single things anyway, but that will be helpful later as we try to work through packs of things. We don't have any CC in this build other than Root from the Wizard, so we will need some of that AoE ability. Okay, so that's the Bone Chips quest. Now, the other thing I found was the fact that there is an exterminator guy here. I need to remember where he is. I might be able to find him on the find list. And he talks to you about spiderling eyes and bringing him spiderling eyes. Now, it's a level 1. It's basically a level 1 quest, and I didn't know about it when I started. But from the get-go, it's an awesome quest because it basically tells you that these jungle spiderlings, these domesticated hatchlings out here, are overrunning the camp, and he just needs you to like thin them out, to cull the herd a little bit. And you can run up, and these guys are level 1. So you can just run up and kill them, boom. And every time, as far as I can tell, it's 100% drop rate of spiderling eye, spiderling silk, and spiderling legs. So every one I killed gave me boom, boom, boom. So at level 1, you can get that quest. You can come out here and just kill these level 1 spiders, and you can turn in the eyes 4 at a time to the exterminator. I haven't done that yet to see what he gives me. I wanted to catch it on recording here. But let me see if I can find that guy again. I didn't really note where he was. I just wrote down his name, and that was it. So, let's see. I don't see him on here. So Exterminator was in his name, and there's no one named Exterminator something. So let me look around. I'll find that guy real quick, but we will we'll turn that stuff in. I think all of my spider eyes are going to the bank, so I also need to swing by the bank and pick him up. So let me swing by the bank, pick him up, and we'll find the Exterminator. We'll see what that turn-in looks like. But again, that's a level 1 quest, so that's going to be amazing. It's right here in the safety of the camp. You just kill these guys as they spawn. Boom. Oh, that might be the first one I've seen that didn't give spiderling eyes, spiderling silk, and legs. Okay, so it's there you go. We just proved on recording. It's not 100%, but man, it must be close. It must be close because I was getting so many of those. All right, let me find the bank real quick and grab my stuff. All right, so here I'm at the bank, and I've been auto-depositing a lot of things while I've been out adventuring. So they'll either go into my trade skill depot if they're trade skill items, or they'll go into my dragon's hoard if they are non-trade skill items. And then my plan was to come back and clean this out a little bit. I ended up with a bunch of light stones. I'm not sure why I started depositing those. I should probably just sell them outright. But I believe that exterminator guy is going to ask for these spiderling eyes. And I've got 8 of them here, but I think it'd be really easy just to build up a ton of them. Again, this is a level 1, looks like a level 1 quest, so I'm guessing the rewards aren't going to be huge. So I just wanted to get enough to kind of try it out. So I've got 2 turn-ins worth here. We'll give it a go. And then I'll need to look up what some of these other things are for, because a lot of them say quest on them. But as I mentioned before, doesn't always mean it's a quest for this area or anything like that. So let me go, I grabbed those spiderling eyes. Let me go figure out where this exterminator is. We can look around a little bit here. It was last night when I found him, and this is next morning now. So, you know, sometime during the night, it went right out of my my brain as to where he is, but we will find him. It was also late, that's why I didn't write it down well in a way to find him again today, but hey, that's what happens. All right, so I was at the bank, and I pulled out the stuff I needed, and then I went off in this direction looking for the exterminator. Made a big circle of the camp, and if I had just done that, he's right there. Bank, Exterminator. Bank. Exterminator. Okay. That could have been a lot easier. If we hail this guy, his name's Exterminator Galub. So, Exterminator Galub says, "Hey, welcome to Gukta. I'm afraid I do not have much time to talk, my friend. Recently, the jungle hatchling population has gotten way out of control around here. I was brought in to try and curb their numbers, but there are too many. Perhaps you could be of assistance to me. If you have time, kill some of the hatchlings and bring me 4 of their eyes. I'll reward you, of course." All right, Galub? Exterminator Galub? Let me give you some eyes. So I am just going to do 4. I'm pressing the wrong button to split the sack. So I'm just going to do 4 for the first turn in and see what we get, because that's what he's asking for. All right, we gave Spiderling eyes. We got faction with Protectors of Gukta. We got some money, copper, silver, gold. And again, very low experience, but it would be great if you were very low level. So another thing you can hunt is just these. I mean, at level 1, come out here and just kill Spiderling. Like these little jungle Spiderlings. Gather up their eyes, come and turn them in. You're just going to get a bunch of money. I mean, I got gold at level 1. Could get gold at level 1 with that. Or level 2 if you come out of the tutorial at level 2. I was kind of wondering if he'd give us some kind of gear, like a random piece of like cloth, but that's probably asking too much. Yep, same thing again. 1 copper, 1 silver, 1 gold. So right on, that's another cool quest you can do at the beginning. I haven't gotten any hides to do. There was the hide trade-in quest also. I haven't gotten that, and I haven't chased down that quest with, there's one to like go rescue a snake, and there's one to track down that blade, the different parts of that sword. So we'll look into those a little more later. I think the goal right now is going to be to get a couple more levels out here. And the newbie yard, if I turn off, Z filters off. The newbie yard's getting a little low for us. I could go maybe push out another level there if I wanted. So I'm going to head out into here, this area, kind of outside of the starting area, and see what's going on out there. Maybe find ourselves a little, if it's not super above our level, if it's something that's reasonable for our level, find ourselves a little route to grind out to level 8. And at level 8, I'm going to either run my way over to Blackburrow, or I'm going to try to get someone to gather party with me that's already over there, that doesn't mind pulling me over to Blackburrow. I don't mind the run. I don't mind doing the long runs. It's just if we're a little time crunched here with beta running out again, so I don't want to spend too much time spending it running. So let's see what we got going on out here. So we got okay, so that guy is even level. The giant moccasins out here would be okay to kill. They're even level or blue. And I'm still on difficulty 2. There was a big patch today. This is Tuesday. There's a big patch today. There's a lot of patch notes to check out. By the time you see this, you probably will have already read them if you're interested. Once we get into actual release, I may do some short episodes of just kind of talking about the patch notes. I mentioned this before, but I don't necessarily want to sit there and read them, but one by one. But going over some of the highlights or what affects the character I'm playing, stuff like that might be really interesting. Ooh, we got a Cyclops. That's going to be way outside of our ability. So maybe we stay. That guy's out here, so we'll stay in this. Stay maybe in this area and this area. So I think right now I see the snakes are an option for us to play around with and murder a little bit. See how that goes. If the poison's real, if they're poisoning us real bad or something, we don't have heal spells, so we don't have a way to recover well from that. We don't have mend from monk. We don't have heals. We don't have innate regen from Ixar or Troll. So we're at some deficits as far as healing goes. So it just comes down to a lot of waiting. All right, these guys are level 12, so not too far off. These lizard men over here. Before we could start looking at these lizard man camps. 9. Okay, that's not bad. That's not bad. So that's something we can start looking at in a level or so. And see if we want to maybe even push a little past level 8. I don't know. But I think somewhere around there, I want to get into a dungeon. I want to check out some of the new loot and stuff. Okay, this guy's only level 11. And there's a few orcs up here, so we've got... Okay, so 14. Yeah, so not bad progression. Looks like you can come out of the newbie area, kind of go to the left up here, and there's some stuff that's going to be blue, white, even level cons. And then as you kind of make your way out, you can hit like lizardmen camps and orc camps. I don't want to get too close to these guys. And over here, there's some different things you could camp, and then you can make your way into the Firot if you wanted. Probably you could level up enough just to head over into the Temple of Khazak-Thul and do some work out that way. All right, so our next plan right now is just to push up to level 8 and make a decision on what to do. So I think it's a good time for one of the, Sigil GM classic leveling or grinding montages. So I don't know if I'll have any cool music to play with it. I'll see if I can throw something together. Or little Froglok guy with the air quotes worst build. We'll see what we can do. But yeah, let me put in some work here. And I'll see you at level 8.
In the red mountain light, got a dagger in my left and another in my right. Everybody's saying that build ain't right. I just smiled and danced into another fight. Side tripping high when I jump through the air. Don't know fear, cause I never go there. The draw's all grown every time I'm around. They can hear these little froggy feet hitting the ground. They say, boy, that build ain't strong. I say, baby, you've been wrong. Build wrong, but I'm feeling so right. Got the whole
right, we made level 8. This area up here has been absolutely amazing. So what I did was... Ooh, that thunder is loud. I'll probably have to turn that down when I do editing, but... So this is our starting area. If you look at the map here, it's our starting area, and then we went up on top of this hill over here. And it's just like an incredible density of mobs up here. A lot of these bleeders... And, oh, so look, here's another... So I was finding these named... There's these Froglok traders, and then there's some named ones up here. Like this guy here, Yun Jurak the Poisoned. And so I've been killing them. So far, I've gotten a lot of quest items up here, so we're going to have to figure out all these quest items, but the experience was great. I was able to just, like, continuously kill. See, that guy... That's the second time I've killed that guy. And this time, I got a quest item, so a water soak journal. I didn't get anything from him last time, so we're going to go ahead and loot it. And then there's, okay, and here's this, I think that's a named croc leather hide. I don't think, with the capital letter at the front of their name, usually it indicates that that's a name and not just like a mosquito, or these guys are bleeders or whatever. I've been calling them mosquitoes, but they're just giant mosquitoes. And I've killed that guy twice now, and or maybe even 3 times, and I don't think I've gotten anything special from him. These bleeders, if you kill enough of them, you get a named bleeder. Also, I think he was called the Needler. He's probably in the video, the montage that I just made. Assuming I do my editing work correctly. And I got a dagger from that guy. I would love to see more of that guy, but I killed a bunch of bleeders and didn't get another one. So yeah, we've been chasing snakes, we've been killing the bleeders, killing the Froglok traders, and then overnight, during the night hours, there are troll invaders. I think they only come out at night because they've completely stopped now and it's daytime hours again. And those guys, they run along here, basically coming past the tower, and you kill them too. I didn't see anything special from them either. But if we take a look here, we've actually ended up with a ton of... So first of all, our giant snake fang now from killing snakes up here is up to +6. So it's a 0.296 ratio. 8 damage, 27 delay with the 5 backstab damage. That's pretty awesome. Unfortunately, the things we've been killing aren't dropping rusty weapons. So like our rusty battle axe didn't go up any higher. It's a 0.19 still. And I think that's still our best second weapon that we have available. So I'll probably sell off a bunch of these rusty weapons now that we're getting a little higher. But I've gotten a couple things, so... Oh, the troll invaders did... Actually, one of them dropped a troll raider's head. I think 2 of them actually dropped troll raiders' heads. Quest items. I don't know what quest that's for, but I'm going to have to go back and figure it out. Looking on the Everquest Legends wiki, there's not a lot of information about the Froglok starting area, and I assume that these are Froglok starting area quests for the troll invaders. So I'm going to go back and see if I can figure that out. There's a kobold liver that's marked as a quest item. We'll figure that out. This muddy trinket came from one of the named spawns that I fought as well. I think it came from the... there was a named snake called Sathena, or Sathena, and dropped the muddy trinket. There's traitorous Froglok tongues, which I've got 3 of here. And... this should just be sold. It's not anything important. And a pristine kobold paw. So I need to kind of figure out what all these quest items are for. And including the water soak journal that we just got. Oh, that says this for... Okay, that's a class quest for cleric. Interesting. So I don't... Oh, here it is. Blood Needle, not the Needler. The named one is named Blood Needle. He's right in front of me right now, so we'll kill him again. Because he dropped this dagger, the Blood Needle. And we only have it at a +2, and it's just a 0.182, which doesn't quite beat our offhand item. But it looks like it could be another good rogue item if you leveled it up a little bit. So maybe we'll get another copy of it here, and we can get this to a +3 or something. Yeah, so we got Blood Needle +2. So I'll auto-merge it. I got it to a +3, which puts it... That's a huge jump. It puts it up to a 0.227, which... kills our rusty battle axe +4. So let's go ahead and throw that in our offhand. And now we're kind of roguing it up with 2 daggers. So 0.296, 0.227. Excellent. Oh, it's even got a special graphic to it. The offhand dagger. The main hand dagger is just the normal dagger graphic, but the offhand's like a bigger, cool dagger. Well, right on. I was kind of hoping to run into that guy again. I was killing a bunch of the needlers and couldn't get him to spawn, and here while I'm talking, he pops right in front of me. Yeah, here's like these Froglok traders, and this is where I was getting the Froglok trader tongues from. And not sure what they're for. So one thing I'm going to check real quick before I leave. I looked at this tower has some humans out in front of it, and they were dubious. Curious if I actually hail them, if they have any quests or anything. Maybe some of this goes towards that. They might not talk to me because, like I said, they're dubious. So I don't know how I would. Oh, this guy's indifferent. Okay, but they don't have anything. And I climbed to the top of the tower, and there's no one up there. I thought they might have like the traders or invaders quest or something, but yeah, there's nothing up here. So very cool. This is a great place to come to get those couple levels from 6. Looks like you could probably take it up to 9 pretty easily just messing around here. I've got another 15% into the level. And I'm going to hop my way back into town here, and I'm going to figure out what all these quest items are for, which is probably going to take me some amount of time of just talking to people. If I already talked to everybody once, so I'm not sure who I would go to. And some of this stuff might be, one thing I found is the reason that the scribes were all sending us to the armorers is because that is the lead-in for the starter armor for Frogloks, for the starter armor quests. And those are not in-game. Those are out of era right now, so that's probably something that will get cleaned up during the next couple of weeks. That's why everybody was telling us go talk to the armorers. And I'm wondering if some of these items that are dropping are potentially items that go towards those quests, but since they're not in the game, they're just a waste. So I'm going to spend a little bit of time just giving it a shot and trying to talk to some people and see if there's anything I can turn in, any of these, the heads I have or the Froglok tongues or whatever. And if not, I'll just clear out my inventory. We've also made a bit of cash, so we are sitting on some goals. So we're up to looks like 10 plat total, if I remember my conversions right. Or maybe that's 1 plat. I can't remember if it's 10 or 100. Too much. I play too many different games with too many different money conversions, but we've got a good amount of money, and we don't have to buy any spells, which is nice. Yet, until we get the wizard in the mix in a couple levels. One thing that's interesting is I was looking at, I don't have any tracking class. There's no tracking class in this setup, because again, we're trying to make the worst setup. Because there's no tracking class, my little circle of what I can see around me is very tiny, compared to if you have a bard or a ranger or a druid, and you can track, you can get the really big circle and see what's around, which made it really hard to spot those named mobs up on top of that hill. I just kind of had to run around and keep my eyes peeled for them. So that'd be an advantage to getting, some kind of tracking class in your mix. So I'm going to take a minute. I'm going to run around, talk to everybody, and we'll figure out what to do with these quest items. And then originally I had said before the montage, I had said that I might go see if I can get pulled across the world over to Blackborough. And I may still do that in a couple levels, but I'm actually thinking about, since we did that run around and we looked at those other camps that are out there, I'm kind of considering just camping out some of those, like stick with the Froglok starting experience here all the way up until I get Wizard at level 10, and then maybe heading over towards Blackborough or whatever. The reason to go to Blackborough or one of the new zones that's been, or one of the zones that's been revamped, is just to start getting the good drops, the good the loot drops, to see the new stuff, because I haven't been into the new Blackborough and stuff like that. But it's kind of neat seeing the actual Froglok starting experience here and seeing what's going on. So what I may do is just run out to those, looking at the map again. We were seeing, as we came out here, we saw the hill, but then we saw like a camp here, camp here, camp here. So like, hitting these in our difficulty 2 and just seeing if we're able to take on the camp and just do that for the next couple levels. There may not be a ton of cool drops, but also they're humanoids, which means they may drop weapons, they may drop armor. We still have a couple of slots to fill. We didn't change anything during the that montage as far as all that goes. So very cool. Top of that hill, great place you get some named mobs, you get some good experience, you get a density of mobs so you can just keep killing. Nothing there is insanely hard. You're pretty close to town if you needed to run back to sell, or you can sell right away So used to any other version of EverQuest, you have to run back to sell, but you can just sell from your inventory, so not a big deal here. Do quest turn-ins, all that stuff. Several different names that drop things. Like we got that really cool dagger out of there. Pretty big rogue upgrade for us. It's awesome. So let me do this and we'll check back in. And then I think what we'll probably do is just head over and try to take over one of these camps and make our way towards level 10 and picking up Wizard. Oh, right. Here we go. So the animal trainer Visop. I had forgotten that we talked to him before. And if I look here, he says we went through this dialogue before, and I probably voiced it over a little bit. I don't remember if I did. I've been playing so much, but talks about the blasted trolls, and when we ask about it, he said, "Can you find my beautiful snake?" She answers to the name of Sathina when she's in the mood, and she had a trinket around her neck that I was rather fond of. And he basically says, "If you can't bring her back, could you kill her and get the trinket?" And we did. So that was actually what this was for. And actually, I had written that down before and forgotten about the name. I don't think I wrote down Sathina. I just wrote down like this to find the snake. So we were killing those troll invaders up there, and then the snake spawned also. And we got the trinket. So we can go ahead and do that turn in and see if anything cool comes out of that. Let's see. We got some experience. We got... Okay, it's just an experience, but it was a 3.5% even at level 8, and we could have killed that snake much earlier. So, not a bad little quest. And let's see if he has something else for us. So he starts off with the same dialogue. Okay, it looks like maybe this is just a repeatable quest. So if we kept running into that named snake up there, we could keep coming in and turning in those trinkets. Oh, we did get something. Why didn't it show? You offered Muddy Trinket. Experience. Did not show that I gained any loot, but it looks like I did. I got this Trainer's Bauble, which is a neck or wrist, AC 2, hit point 10, mana 10, endurance 10. Actually, that's amazing. We have nothing on in our next slot. Jewelry's usually one of the harder things to come by, so that's a great early quest. You could probably do that quest at 4 or 5. If you go up and hunt down the snake, maybe 6. Well, definitely 6, because I was up there from 6 to 8, and I had no problem. So, boom, we got a cool next slot item out of that one. That's one. Still making my way around. Still a lot of people sending me towards the armorers, and then the armorers all send me towards the scribe. So, kind of working my way back through that. I think that might be a dead-end quest line, though. Yeah, let me keep going, and we'll check in if we find another one. Okay, so I made my way back around the whole place. I talked to everybody I could talk to, and then I did a little bit of Googling to see. And if we look at what we have here, a lot of these things are from the Lost Dungeons of Norath expansion. They were added as starter quests for the Froglok classes. So just going through them, the Trader's Froglok's Tongue, the Troll Raider's Head, the Kobold Liver, and the Water-Soaked Journal were all things from the Eldon expansion. So Froglok's came out in Legacy of Akesha in early 2003, I think. And then later that same year, they put out the Lost Dungeons of Norath, and they added a bunch of cool stuff for a lot of different races with starting quests like that. So those are in the game, likely because when they added the Frogloks here, they just added the whole chunk of information about Frogloks and all the quests related to them. So that will need some cleanup at some point. So I am going to just go ahead and destroy all of these quest items. The one exception is this pristine kobold paw. I did a quick search for that. It didn't just pop up as another Eldon quest item, so I don't know what it's for exactly. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and just store it. So I'm going to put it into... I'm going to run to the bank and throw it in the bank in my Dragon's Hoard. And if we come across a place that needs it, then we'll go ahead and dig it out. I didn't look up Fitbox Head either. Let me do that real quick. Let's see what this guy's all about. It's probably, I would guess it's also going to be an Eldon quest. Yeah, Fitbox Head's another one, or Fipok, this item here, is another one that I'm not quite sure about, so I will throw that in the bank as well. So, unfortunately, Not a lot to turn in, but that Sathina snake did get us that cool neck item, and we did a ton of experience up there. So let me run back by the banker, and he's pretty close to where I am here. We'll run back by the banker. We'll throw a couple things in the bank. We will destroy the others. Yeah, he's right here. So if I go into my Dragon's Hoard, open back up my bags here, I will just throw that paw in there and the head, and we'll just hang on to it. I haven't gone through some of these other ones yet either, but I'm guessing a lot of these things are quest items from other expansions. So let me destroy all these real quick, and we will move on. We're gonna head over and try to take over one of those camps and see how that goes. If that goes well, then I'll probably plan on just cranking out to level 10 there. Grab Wizard, and we'll go from there. I think I'll just hang on to the rusty weapons just a little bit longer, just to see if we get anything, but I think we're sitting pretty good with the 2 daggers we have right now, so we probably won't even end up using any of the rusty weapons anymore, but you never know. So we'll continue on with the kind of the Froglok starting experience rather than just running out to the first dungeon with the best loot. We'll give this a look and see how it goes. I'm going to head straight up to this little camp on the map here, kind of directly north out of town. And I think that, I forget now because we ran by a couple different camps. There were some various mobs out here that had camps. And I don't remember if it was a kobold camp or an orc camp or whatever it was. So we'll go see real quick. It's probably like barely a few minutes ago on the video, but I've been playing across a couple of days here. So this actually, okay, so nothing was actually in this one, but this looks like a lizard man camp. You can tell by the tents with the little lizard guys on them. So there were lizard men up here. Actually, I think the lizard man camp was out here further that we saw. But I'm going to try to stay in this area. I'm going to go look at over here. I think there was a kobold camp or an orc camp or something over here. Or maybe even it was a lizard man camp. Kind of down in this area. So we're going to go check that out. Oh, here we have lizard men. Yeah, that's right. So they were ranging up into the teens. Okay, this is where that lizard man camp was, I remember it. And these are still a little too high for us. But I'm pretty sure this camp over here was looking okay. Maybe we can find something to fight in here for a couple of levels. And if these camps are kind of... Okay, they're also showing up as red. But they're level 12. Problem's going to be is I can get this guy out front, likely single, but this pool here is going to be 3 of them. And at best, we have one that's yellow. So let's continue on over here. So we might still be just a... Holy moly. Giant skeleton. He's level 24. We don't want any of that business. So it might actually be... Might not be what I was hoping for. Hoping to be able to camp out here. Okay. Got the giant skeleton here that obviously we're not going to fight. I don't know if he roams or if that's a static spawn. But these other skellies are looking okay. There is a dry bone in there that's level 16. Was a dry bone and he's a warrior. I thought dry bones were always casters. Always try to blow you up. Oh. And we've got Kazel. Kazel doesn't care about us, but he is level 50 and we don't want any of his business either. The problem we're going to have is if these skeletons all have a chance to spawn a level 16 dry bones, that's going to be real scary for us. Oh, level 9. So I feel like we could kill in this area for a little while and see how it goes. If we start to get some spawns that are way too high for us, then we'll back out of that. Obviously, we'll need to watch out for like the basilisk, for the dry bone skeleton, stuff like that. But I mean, this guy's yellow, so we could take on these lizard man warrior. And this shouldn't go too poorly. We're about almost 20% into level 8, so we're doing all right on that. We haven't faced anything yet that's been like so challenging we couldn't overcome it with just our pure melee at this point. That can give you a good idea of at least how it's going to start. 1 through 10 is typically a bit slow until you get your third class in there and you kind of get going in EverQuest Legends, but I'm actually finding this to go pretty fast. Once I get in the groove and just start killing, I'm able to kill pretty fast. Backstab does really good damage. Cleave is in there doing a bit of damage. We've got the poisons from Rogue, which actually I didn't even look yet to see if I picked up anything else. So no new poisons. Of course, we don't have any spells. And I don't think we gained any new skills that aren't already on our bar. But I will double check. Yeah, nothing new there. Or nothing that I saw. So the yellow is doing a bit more damage to us, but we're still holding in there. And then we'll heal up pretty quick out of combat. But I think if we're going to take on yellows, this is where we're going to start to slow down. Because we don't have a way to heal besides just time. And a little bit from the Rogue Blood Siphon Venom. Now we did pick up, throughout all that grinding, maybe I didn't talk about this yet, but we did pick up a couple more Venoms. A couple more poisons. So while we're standing here healing up real quick, I'll talk about those. So we had Blood Siphon and Asp Venom, which are combat poisons, and that is those stacked together. You can stack all your combat together, which we have these two. We'll get a replacement for Blood Siphon at one point, and then we'll get, there's a third one we eventually get. And then we have utility poisons. So right now we have Weakening, Hobbling, and Concussive. So Weakening reduces their attack rate. Hobbling reduces their movement, so it's a snare. And Concussive can interrupt spell casting 75% of the time. So you have utility poisons here. You can only have one utility poison up at a time. So I put them all in the bar, and we can swap them out as needed. If we're fighting a lot of casters, maybe we want to do concussive poison. If we're having runners, we're going to want to use hobbling poison. We don't, like I said, we don't have another way to snare. We don't have a. We're missing a lot of the things that you could hope for when it comes to utility on Rogue Warrior here. We do have Bash ourselves, and it is going off, and we do have a shield in the any slot. And I remember I tested before, and Bash did not work from the any slot, and I have not been looking to see if it's working from working now. So that was something I thought they would probably add, much the same way they added the ability to use the backstab damage of a dagger in the any slot. But that is worth checking out to see if Bash is actually something that's going off. All right, so here we've got another giant skeleton, which we want no part of. But we do have a zombie and a dry bones. That might be a little rough as well. Looking at the map, we're starting to get up towards this side. Now, we could also dip over into the Firot, and we could fight over there. And again, the option is still on the table to head to a dungeon and start digging into that and grind out some levels. So, unfortunately, we don't have any way to pull at range. And I think we're going to end up getting these dry bones or getting overwhelmed by skeletons. So, this may be a bust as far as grabbing one of these camps out here. Obsidian Drake is level 11. We could fight Obsidian Drake, but... Okay, I see a bunch of... let's see if these lizard men... 17... 15. So there's almost like a group of levels here that's kind of hard to get out this way. I suppose we could keep fighting up on top of that hilltop where we made level 8. I'm not seeing a clean way to jump into the like kind of 10 to 12 range, right? Like from 8 into the 10 to 12 range. Without having some friends to help you out. Obviously, you could take down these camps if you had friends. We could just stick with these yellow lizard men. There's a couple of them here, a few. This guy's a shaman that are in our range. And maybe there's other little camps like this one around that we could get to. I'm not sure. I do see there's some merchants out this way. Assuming, yeah, this is the default map, so these should be correct for Everquest Legends. So we could kind of go over that way and see what's going on. I think, so we pretty quickly made another 10% with just a couple of kills. So maybe I'll just see how this goes, just kind of killing right here, these lizard men. For just a few minutes. And we'll, Mystic Doll, okay, we'll have to look into that one. And then we'll go wander, decide if we would just want to wander around here. Ooh, there's a basilisk right there. But see, like that lizard man, robber, that leaf is right in my face, is too high level for us, but we can get some of these roamers, or yellows, so we can pick off the edges here, basically. Ooh, there's an orc priest. I'm stunned. Yeah, I was worried about that. I'm stunned in place here. This is probably a doom for us. So we don't have a lot of way to like rally. We don't have we don't have many ways to rally up. I could try running. There are some guards around the corner here, but seems unlikely that I will make it. I think that the Froglok run almost looks like it just slows you down rather than kind of speeds you up like or the jump, I mean. Other races, the jump will give you a little boost of speed. It almost seems like it slows you down rather than speeds you up. Ooh, there's another stun. We're close. We're close. We have a chance here. Again, if you die, it's not that big a deal. In EverQuest Legends, you spawn back. You can spawn back in the same zone. But nobody really wants to die, so... Oh! He starts meleeing me. Yeah, this is the end, I think. I don't think I'll make it to my friendly guard there. I don't know if jump's going to speed me up, but I'm going to try. Oh, 33 health. Save me, guard. He's right there. They're not going to get the orc? Guys. No way. They totally went after the lizard man, and they are ignoring the orc completely. That seems a bit janky to me. That's pretty funny, though. Okay, so we're just going to respawn. I thought I'd made it. I felt like great for a second. I was like, dude, I totally made the run. All right, what do we end up with here? Rusty longsword, so we'll just auto-merge it. There's that orc priest that just killed me. Guards are right here that completely ignored that guy trying to murder good old Sigil the Froglok. Big jerks. All right, you know what? I am gonna go ahead and back out of my idea of sticking around here and seeing if I can make it to level 10 on some of the camps. I think they're all just a bit too high. Like if we came back at level 12, we could definitely push from there. The ways you could do it, I think, are go back up on top of the hill here, pull another level or two, just killing all those things in the name stuff. You might be able to head out over this way towards these merchants, but I don't know what's going on there. But the further we go out, the higher level this is going to get. You could make your way into the Firot, and you could fight over in the Firot. There's some skeleton camps up in the kind of the northwest area that are pretty good at that level. You could also probably start heading over towards the Lost Temple of Khazak-Thul and look around in there pretty soon. But I do want to check out that new Black Burrow, so let me go ahead and throw out on general chat. See if anybody is open to pulling me over to that side of the world. If not, we'll start making the journey. I just threw in general chat, and is anybody willing to gather party me over to the Kinos Blackborough side of the world? I've helped a bunch of people do this, so I usually just invite them to a group and then pull them over to where they need to go. Hey guys, editing Sigil here. So I just realized that during this part, I had actually muted my mic and I forgot to unmute it, which normally wouldn't be a big deal. I usually just cut those parts out if I forget. But I did want to give a special thank you to Inyene. I'm not sure if I'm getting that name right. It's Ynyienae. Thank you so much for inviting me into the group and giving it a shot to summon me across the world over there to Blackborough. You guys will see here in the video, it didn't end up working out because Inyene was in a personal instance, and for the record, you cannot gather party someone to your personal instance. I'm wondering if I had been added to the personal instance with a /DZ add, if that would have made a difference. I'm not sure, but we tried it for science. It didn't work out, but I really appreciate you making the attempt. It was very cool, and thank you. I should add that Inyene checks out the channel, watched the Doom Reaver videos, and is out there playing a Doom Reaver build as we speak. So that's awesome. All right, so we ended up getting a ride. We actually didn't get gather party over here. I ran over to the Firot. I don't think I recorded all this, but I ran over to the Firot, met up with a guy, Toasty, at the Druid Circle over there, and Toasty ported me over. Let me pull up the map here to Surefall Glade, and then I ran down to Blackborough. So we did expedite our trip across the world. I actually kind of tried to run it and ran to Lake Raithir and got killed. So I popped back over at the Froglok starting zone and then decided to make my way over here in a different manner. Again, this is not necessary. We definitely could have figured out how to level over there. We could have run over to the Firot and leveled over there. there's plenty of ways to level. I just also during this beta, I want to take a peek at this zone, Black Burrow's kind of revamp and see the new drops. And then I also want to make my way over to Najina, is the other dungeon that they've recently revamped. And I know there's more revamps coming. Just kind of want to explore them while I can during this beta. So we're at the appropriate level. We are going to head our way into Black Burrow. We're going to make our way towards level 10, probably beyond level 10 at this point. We'll do several levels in here. And we'll pick up Wizard, and we'll start nuking some stuff. And that, I think, is where we're going to end this video. We'll pick up in the next one, exploring Black Burrow and the changes. Everyone, hopefully you are enjoying the Froglok's tale here on Everquest Legends. If you want to see more, go ahead and hit those YouTube buttons so you can be alerted when the next one comes out, and I'll see you there. Thanks for watching.